video. Lights in the wrong place, audio sound bad, bad audio just kind of makes people not want to listen. If they can't see you, they won't watch you. And if they can't hear you, they won't listen. And if everything is right in the video production and the audio and the sound, and yet what you say is nonsense, what did you invest in? That's what I want to talk about in this episode of Leading Leaders. Stay tuned. What? Just go back. I'm J. Lauren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And hey, everybody's got a perfect example. It's often that you have this conflict of what exactly does it take to make the perfect production? Sometimes it's the right lights and the right video and the right audio. Sometimes it's you got to have the right set and the right scene and just the right display behind you, or maybe even the 40-foot LED wall. I've been in all of those environments. I've been on the movie sets. I've been in the scenes and the sets where everything is outdoors. I've seen all of those. And I can tell you that you can do some pretty incredible things with new phones. You can do some pretty incredible things. I've got a little backpack. Just a backpack. In that backpack, there are 5 cameras. 4 of them are top-of-the-line GoPros. One of them is a GoPro 360. You can literally put it in the middle of the table and record everybody at the table at one time. And if you know how to do the editing from a 360 camera, you can create some pretty incredible stuff that way. The challenge along the way, though, is it just production quality? I've seen the pendulum swing in both ways, and it doesn't seem to like stop at anywhere. It goes from one side to the other. Some people say, look, if your message is good, you could record it on your iPhone and people are going to love it. Just, go live and go do it. And there are people who are like, I'm terrified of just going live because I've never been in front of a camera before. And then there are those people who are like, well, I don't want to do it at all until it's absolutely perfect. I've got to have the right scene, the right set, the right color schemes. Is that candle in the right place? What about those things in the background? Do I need to move this? Do I need to reshape that? Do I need to recolor this? And what happens often is you forget that those tiny little adjustments mean everything to the viewer. They're the things that bug you, like a camera being a little bit off center. If I move too far one way or the other, you can tell I'm not in the middle. And it bugs some people. They're like, yeah, you're really messing with my OCD because you won't be still. Or you're really messing with it because there's more space on this side than this side, or up here or down here. And if you're the type of person, as the presenter, who gets really obsessive about those perfect things, is that the right color scheme? Does that fit with my logo? Does that even match what I do? If those things become troublesome to you, then the truth of the matter is producing your content is going to be very, very distracted. When you get on the set and you don't have the wherewithal or the understanding or the knowledge to pay attention to things that are going on behind the scenes, then you may do a perfectly good run only to realize there was no audio. You finished the whole recording and the mic wasn't on the whole time. Oh my gosh, now what do I do? Well, you have to do it again. What are the chances you're going to do it exactly the same? Not very high. Unless you're reading from a teleprompter, the odds that you're going to remember exactly the same words you said last time, pretty slim. However, the bigger problem is when you realize there are those challenges, the lights in the right place, the lights that are not on, the lights that should have been on, the lights that shouldn't be that bright, all of those different things that need to be adjusted along the way, they start getting in your subconscious mind. And in your subconscious mind, they become like hurdles on the track between you and actually getting things done. I know for a fact, I have been on a stage where I've asked my son to do the video. It was an audience of about 1,000 people. The camera was probably 250 feet away from where I was on the stage. And because he wanted to keep me in the shot, but didn't want to have to follow me with the camera, he just did a very wide angle. Which means when you look at the video, you can see the whole audience, you can see the whole stage, and I'm about this big. And in the dark, at a great distance, with no stage lights, the ability to actually keep me in the camera, keep me visible, keep me lit up well, was near impossible. The other problem was the stage was lit for a particular performance. And as a presenter, I didn't have the opportunity to go in and go, you know, there's a real dark spot over here. So if I walk to this part of the stage, I'm in the dark. If I walk to this part of the stage, it's like sunlight. And so the camera can't really record that way. Well, the people with the stage management, they didn't care. Their job was turn the lights on, turn the mics on. They didn't have any cameras in this arena. They didn't expect that. Wasn't their deal. We've been in many locations where that's kind of the thing, and we're there to video. And as a videographer, part of my job is to be able to overcome those things. Now, I can also tell you, there's also a different mindset in this pendulum swing. In this pendulum swing, part of the challenge is that we swing from, is it great quality production, television, film, broadcast, or is it, let's just get it done, run and gun? So that's one part of the pendulum swing. Here's another part of the pendulum swing. There's this notion that the whole world thinks only in TikTok, and therefore we only need to get that 30 to 90 second clip. And people who think in TikTok from behind the camera don't always capture everything good that happens in front of the camera. I've been in many, many events where a speaker will be on the stage and I'm listening to what they're saying. I've got a still camera in the back. And when I say still, I don't mean like a click, click only camera. I mean like a video camera on a tripod, like the one I'm talking to right now. And if I talk for 30 minutes, this camera will catch everything I say, good and bad. From the bad standpoint, at least I know I can go back and edit out the foibles. I can take those out of there. I can fix that. But from the good standpoint, I also captured everything. What I've seen with people who have more of a run and gun mentality, the B-rolls, the catch the expressions, the I want to go viral kind of filming, they film to go viral. They get the right zoom in, they get the right colors, they get the right angles, they get the right crowd reactions, but they're not looking to shoot the stream of the content. What they're filming has a different purpose. It has a different intent. And the challenge that I have for a lot of people is they think they're producing content like you would use for an online course, or content like you would use for a teaching, a lecture, or a keynote. And when somebody says, hey, send me an example of what you've done, and the only thing they've got is 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, it looks like a bulk of stuff, but the question is, can you carry on a thought for more than 90 seconds? Can you present something that challenges people to stop and think about what they're doing? I'm in the midst of listening to a podcast right now. And in this podcast, it's probably one of the smartest PhD in computer sciences with, he wrote his dissertation on machine learning. He's from Russia. Can't say his name just because I can't pronounce it. But he's in an interview with Patrick Bet-David. And the screen title, the big thumbnail, says 99.99% sure that AI destroys all humanity. That's a pretty catchy title. The irony is, it's not just the hook. In fact, I'm about 20 minutes into an hour-long interview, and part of the conversation has already been, look, we've already had jailbreaks of AI. It wasn't jailbroken by the people who created the AI. The AI did it itself. It got out of its constraints, out of its boundaries. It went out and did things all on its own. What if what it decided to do was release a virus? You can't do much about that. Let me ask you a question. If all you got was 30 seconds of that conversation, would you be satisfied? Or would you be infuriated? If what you got was just a little 90-second clip, how much would you truly understand? Like I said, I'm 20 minutes into an hour-long interview. There's still a whole lot more to be heard, to be learned, to be understood, to be challenged, to push back. As I'm listening to this podcast, I hear them talk about Mythos, which is one of the AIs that they believe, world governments believe, this particular form of AI as a free agent is so dangerous, they had to write policy. Now, in the podcast conversation, they said, yeah, it's been straight up banned. Well, it was straight up banned, and then they wrote some government policy on, quote unquote, how to control it, and they released it again. That's only been in the news in the last couple of days. And if you don't pay any attention to that stuff, you wouldn't even know that. You're like, Mythos, what's that? I use Grok. I use Claude. I use ChatGPT. I don't know anything about Mythos. Doesn't bother me at all. Okay, did you know that Mythos has already been proven to have ways to hack national security, national defense, and international armament devices? Nah, whatever. He writes my email. Yeah. That's all it can do, write your emails and misspell things in the process. And and translate things that you said into something entirely different. But I missed the point because it's only AI writing what's on your teleprompter. It's going to make you say what it wants you to say. Have you ever been into a studio to record something and maybe you walk in, like I have in studios, where it's a giant blank slate? And when I say blank slate, I mean like literally a blank slate, a white wall. Maybe it's the infinite wall where there's no shadow, no curve, and all the lights are perfectly aimed. But you got to bring your own cameras. You rent the studio space for $350 an hour and you think, good on me. Yeah, but you didn't bring a camera. And if you brought a camera, do you know where to put it? And do you know how to aim it? Do you know how to correct the positioning when it's wrong? Do you know where the lens goes? Should it be like down here so that everything is full length, or should it be up here above your head so that everything is looking down or looking up? And if you don't know where to position it, if you don't have the right equipment, I've seen people propping tripods up on books on top of chairs trying to make it stable so they put their phone at the right level. Fine. But if you're going to rent the space for $350, shouldn't it come with somebody who knows how to run it? And it's just my opinion. But I've also seen people walk into the Hollywood production spaces. We have one that we use from time to time. We've been there for teaching events. I've been there to coach other people who've rented the studio. It's a very elaborate studio. In fact, they've recently upgraded. 8 to 10 cameras, 3 or 4 different studio spaces, 50-foot LED wall that goes all the way to the ceiling. Beautiful production quality. And their guys are good. And they can do not only the LED wall, but there's an actual intelligence program that allows them to do spatial 3D, where they can put the LED wall behind you, whether it's moving or not, and the system actually recognizes a camera angle as a different angle. So it's not just shooting the wall, it actually changes what the camera sees so that you stay in focus and the wall looks like it's in motion, or it's a different scene, or it's shooting around a corner. They can do some incredible stuff in this studio. You know what they don't do? They don't care about your message. They don't care about the quality of your message, the accuracy of your message, the consistency of your message. They charge you when the cameras come on until the cameras go off. They provide you the microphones, they provide you the lights, they provide you the cameras. The rest is on you. If you show up there and you're thinking to yourself, I think I want to say it like this, but I'm not exactly sure, their production guys are going to go, or they're going to give you the best AI answer they can. Because most of them are not presenters. Most of them are not deep content producers. Most of them have never written a book, have never taught a course, have never stood on a stage in front of 200 or 300 people and tried to make a point and drive transformation. That can be a bit of a challenge. Now I know there's also one, I've seen the ads, they're right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that in their ads they say, you come into our studio for 45 minutes, teach whatever you want to. And when you leave, we will take whatever you said in 45 minutes, we'll kind of sushi it up, chop salad it up into something viral. And we guarantee a certain number of views of your content. We guarantee that you'll generate leads and traffic from your content. We guarantee that we'll get you all this exposure. So it's going to be top quality produced. Looks like a pretty good studio. I haven't been there, but it looks pretty good on their ads. Their bold claim is that they're going to make you go viral. Great. The question is, if you took just one powerful sentence, again, this is that 30-second to 90-second clip, I'd be willing to bet. I haven't tried this. Maybe it'd be a fun exercise. I'd be willing to bet you could take somebody who knows absolutely nothing about nothing and clip 30 seconds of brilliance and make that 30 seconds of brilliance go viral. One quote, one quotable quote that just sounds like, oh my gosh, they're so intelligent. Make it go viral. And when you come back to them and go, hey, I saw your viral clip. I want to know what you know about this topic. Please help me understand. And realize there's like no substance there. This isn't even a one-hit wonder. It was a fluke. It was an accident. But see, with the right amount of marketing, the right amount of advertising, just the right editing, you can make stupidity go viral. We know that. Ice bucket challenge? Some of the other challenges, the cinnamon challenge. People die from that stuff. But hey, it went viral. It must be brilliant. No, it doesn't work like that. But see, there's this balance where you're not just paying for Hollywood quality production and wondering if your content is worth its salt. And I'm going to have great content even if I have to hang an iPhone from the ceiling with a shoestring around the ceiling fan to get the motion in my graphics. Whichever end of that you find yourself on, you still have this one other challenge, and that is, are you a content producer or a video producer? And by that I mean, are you producing content for the virality of the algorithm that says what we want you to do is make stuff that makes people stay on our platform? Or are you creating entertainment for the sake of getting attention? Here's the third option. Are you professionally producing life-changing material? That's the category I prefer to be in. I want my online courses, I want the coaching that I do, I want the training that I do, I want the keynotes that I deliver to genuinely impact the quality of people's lives. And I know that the right light, the right audio, the right video production, the right quality of all of that content has as much to do with the production knowledge, the understanding of the equipment and how to use it. I have people come into the studio and they're like, well, where's your big boom mic for the podcast? I'm like, why, so I can hide my face behind it? There's a general principle when you're communicating with people that anytime you put something between you and them, they feel like you're hiding something. It's a subconscious thing that says, what are you hiding behind? It doesn't matter if it's the flowers on the stage or the boom mic on your desk. Now, I know some people think, well, look at the size of that microphone. It must be wonderful. Look how well it sounds. Does my sound bad now? I hope not. I hope there's not like a buzz or a hiss or something. I don't have the headphones on. Often I will do that. When we move things in the studio and we reset, I will put the headphones on before we even start. I'll talk to myself to make sure that the quality of the audio that's going into the recording, going out on the live, is acceptable to me. And when I bring someone else in the studio and they put their mic on, I will often put on the mic because I'm a little bit protective of that kind of stuff. Now, I can still be on this side of the camera, produce the content, write the material, deliver, teach, train, coach. I can do all of that stuff. I can also put a client right here and stand off camera. Ask the clients who've been in the studio who've done that. I stand off camera, and when they say something and they stop and they think, okay, did that come out the way we wanted? I'm like, we can roll back the tape and watch it again, but here's what I might recommend. And what I'm recommending isn't necessarily, although it could be, hey, your collar's sticking out of one side of your shirt, you might want to fix that. Hey, you've got a hair sticking up on the top of your head, you might want to fix that. Hey, your microphone's too far away, I'm not getting regular audio from you. By the way, do you have your phone in your pocket? Because I hear something buzzing in the microphone. I can coach on all of those things. I can also coach them and say, okay, that last sentence, when your call to action began, you started going this direction and you ended going this direction. Your call to action isn't actionable. It's theoretic. How do we move that into something they can do right now? You're not going to get that in most production studios. And for $4,000 a month, which is what that little studio charges that will guarantee that you go viral, for $4,000 a month or $48,000 a year, you could hire somebody on your team to do a lot of that stuff, but you could also spend 30 grand on video and studio equipment like we have over the years to be able to build a studio to produce that quality of content. You could do it with 5 iPhones. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do. And you can spend a whole lot of time in the editing bay. And you could pay somebody to do that or just get an AI to do all the editing. It's totally up to you. But you're probably not going to get somebody at that level who's going to talk to you about messaging, that's going to talk to you about the depth of your content, that's going to ask you those hard questions like, is that really true? And I don't just mean, is it true in the way that you're saying it? Is it universally true? Is it a principle that everybody can count on? Here's a little simple principle for you that a lot of people completely miss. If you want to make sweet tea and the tea is already made and it's ice cold, if you just put granulated sugar into cold tea, what happens? It sinks to the bottom. If you order iced tea in a restaurant and they tell you all of our tea is unsweet, but there's sweetener on the table, just simply ask for a cup with just a little bit of hot water at the bottom of it. Just enough hot water that you can put whatever sugar or sweetener you want to in that hot water, mix it up until it completely dissolves, and then pour that little bit of hot water into your iced tea. And you will have what most of the little coffee vending shops call simple syrup. But it's already left its granular state and become a liquid. What does that have to do with video production? Nothing. But see how simple that teaching was? You also see how someone could take that 30 seconds and present a clip that would make people think I'm some kind of Bill Nye the Science Guy, kitchen scientist. I'm not, and I'm not a chef. But if you understand how the power of the video edit can take you completely out of context, you would realize that what I just said, that 30 seconds about using simple syrup manufactured by your hot water teacup, has nothing to do with what I'm teaching, but it could be made a viral clip. Do you trust your video editors, your video production? I've used a couple of AI systems to take my long-form clips and make small clips. I was fascinated. The first couple of times I used one particular one, every short video that it put out there, 30 to 90 seconds long, at 1,500, 2,000, 7,000 views in a matter of hours. Very impressive. Some of them I went back and read the transcript, and the words on the transcript had nothing to do with actually what was being said. Some of them I went back and looked at and realized it started mid-sentence and it ended mid-sentence, and what it had between was like, put the sugar in the hot water. And why did he say that? And what does it mean? And then what do you do with it after that? And why do you have sugar in hot water? And see, that little bit can be made viral. That little 12 to 15 seconds can be, wow. But it's just like fireworks. It goes poof, and then it goes into smoke, and it means nothing. Is it possible to produce 100 million views of nonsense? Yes. It's called TikTok. Hundreds of millions of views of nonsense. Now, I understand there are people who use nonsense to make a whole lot of sales. There are people who use nonsense to sell a whole lot of advertising dollars because, made you look. And there are people who use reasonably well-produced, reasonably intentionally created short-form ads to sell products because AI has already told them which product is going to be the most likely to sell. What's the trend say is the right thing to sell today? Let me ask you this. If you spent your life studying a topic, a subject, writing books to transform people's lives, is that the way you want your content sold? Whatever the trend of the AI says about what's being searched on the internet, what's selling with the highest profits right now? If that's what you want, then that's great. If what you want, though, is to know that your content is genuinely life transforming, that the way you've articulated it makes sense and it helps people and it's going to make a difference, And you also want to be able to say, I want to walk in and focus on my content. I tell my team, my producer, my audio team, the people that I'm working with, as a content creator, I don't mean how do I make little viral reels. I mean as someone who's producing material, writing books, teaching classes, coaching people, I need what I call white space. And if you watch any of the top people, that's what a green room is what it is genuinely for. It's not to be the network place where everybody goes and hangs out with the important people. Some people treat it that way, I get that. But the green room is that space where you're supposed to be able to decompress before you go on stage, go through all the things that are in your head, make sure that you have a pretty good idea what it is you're going to present. Now, sometimes, long before you get to the green room, you've already submitted everything that's going to be on the screen. All your PowerPoint files, the book is out there, the handouts are done, somebody's already introducing you, and a thought comes to your mind that you're like, oh, man, why didn't I think of that before? I've got to be able to put that in there. And the last thing you want to be doing at that moment is going, wait, is that camera crooked? Because I don't have time for that. My mind doesn't have time for that. All that's got to be done before I get started. All that stuff's got, or I've got to be able to trust my production team to correct it midstream. But it's not my job. Once I'm in front of the camera or on the stage, once the mic is on and I'm presenting, what I'm presenting for the people I'm presenting it to, that's my number one priority. I shouldn't be thinking about, focused on, worried about any of the other stuff. StoryPower Academy Studio does that for our clients. You walk in the door, we'll move sets around, we'll rearrange furniture, we'll put in furniture if you want it. We got a big 15-foot bay door back here. You can roll in just about anything you want that'll fit in our studio. We'll move all of our stuff out to make it happen. I want that set, that setup, the camera, the lights, the audio to be exactly what you want before you sit down. We'll also adjust it as we need to along the way. Is the camera too high? Is the camera too low? Do we need to relocate it? Are we getting the right angle? Are we getting the right over the shoulder shot? Is this the look you want your content to have? Great. Now let's take a break. Maybe we go to lunch, something like that. Take a break, sit down in the training room, and let's talk about your content. Because I want you to have that mental white space as well. Become in your sweats. Once we get it all set up the way you want it, and you look at that and go, when I look through the lens, that's exactly what I want to see. That's what I want my viewer to see. That's what I want my classroom to look like. You need a whiteboard, you need a chalkboard, you need a video screen. Whichever one of those it is that you need, we'll put that together and make it happen for you right here in the studio. And then once that setup is done, we take a mental break and we focus on content. We coach through content. Are you sure that you want to transition from that talking point to this one? Do we need to do a fade to black? Do we need to finish that spot, that segment, that series, end the video, rearrange so that you have your whiteboard or your video screen, and start again? Because we can do that. Let's plan it now so that we have a storyboard that intellectually and emotionally matches the way that you want to teach and the content that you want to teach. Because once we get back in the studio, I want you fully involved, fully present, 2 feet down, right here in your space, teaching your content. Not worried about anything else. That's my job. But I will be listening to everything you say to coach you through the content presentation, and I'll be paying attention to everything in the production to make sure that what shows up on that screen is exactly what you want. So when people watch your course later, they know that content is there. Now I can tell you, it's not $4,000 a month. You can book it for a whole day, but you're going to get a full day of coaching and a full day of production for less than the price of a month of viral videos. If you want to pay somebody else to make them go viral or send them through your AI to go viral, that's fine. If what you have to say is important, then how you say it is just as important. If what you have to say and how you say it is important, then the way you deliver it is important. That's vocal quality, its pace, its pitch, its tonality, its emotion, its lack of emotion, its facial expressions, its body language. And if you're focused on all that, who's aiming the camera? If you're focused on that, who's listening to the audio to make sure that the microphone you're using is picking you up loud and clear? If you're focused on that, who's got the lights? Who's turning them up or turning them down or aiming them in the right direction? Because all of those things matter. And many of them are subconscious, and you don't realize how bad they are until it's too late. until you've invested the money and got this beautiful Hollywood production, but what you said was a mess. Or you've spent all of this time producing this incredible material and you get in front of an iPhone and realize, I've got to record this 8 times before I'm going to get it right. Why don't you let us worry about both? Let us worry about helping you perfect the content and helping you perfect the production. You can walk right into the studio and do it. There's a link in the description. You can book a day right now and come into the studio. We'll reset it exactly the way you want. We'll create the kind of scene that you want. We'll walk you through the content and produce it in a day's time. I don't know how you could pass that up. But if you need good quality content and you need it well produced, you should consider StoryPower Academy Studio. I'm Jay Lauren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV and StoryPower Academy. Have a blessed day.